Horses waiting for Maddy. Possible love relationship with Nick. I'm going to use the Lantern Oracle here for you. But let me see that, making sure there's no nudity here. Otherwise, TikTok will kick me out. Let me go to the first one. It is about the past. Leonard, consciousness is light. Let me go to the guidebook here. This is a very deep oracle here. A lot of material written on the guidebook. Whenever you feel challenges in life, stop whatever you're doing to ask your spirit self. It's asking your soul. Spirit self, it's mean your higher self. It's also the soul, the one that you barely connect to because of your ego, because of your outer self focus on life, and you haven't get in touch the deeper part of you. Okay, so, and that's why you're causing the overwhelming. It's also sometimes causing hardship. Sometimes you're missing out the higher purpose to learn certain valuable lessons in life as well. So therefore, you're delaying the possibility to evolve yourself to betterment. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes, but are you running away from mistakes? And also regrets that I'm picking up too in your past that plays a part of you, that you haven't done anything to liberate it. So therefore, you're trapping your own self in all kinds of unfavorable attachment. And you can call that the negativity, or you can call the dark side of you. So when opportunity comes to you in life, it's hard for you to see with clarity. Even with Nick, right? It's hard for you to see with clarity. And that's why you're doubting it. Is it real or is it not real? Is there any more about this past card that I need to elaborate for Maddy? Growth is necessary. Having insight is necessary. Gift. For some reason, you have very specific gift that have not been discovered yet. You haven't put out yet. Perhaps you're still doubting that specific gift, whether it's real or not. Do you want me to elaborate on that? Anything else for this past card for Maddy? You need to light up yourself from within. You need to recognize the difference between dark and light for whatever challenges that you have. It might call it obstacle, but it really isn't an obstacle. It's only your mindset see it that way. And that's what trigger. But do you recognize the way your thought process is? Do you recognize the way you feel? That is incorporated in your mindset as well. Betterment needs progress. How are you making those progress in this lifetime so far? Your guardian warned you to go back and reflect on your past. That is the only way to do proper inner self transformations in order to have evolutions in this lifetime, to rise above that physical living. That's what this consciousness is, light. But do you even have the right kind of consciousness yet? That's something needs to be asked. If you allow your outer focus to get in the way, so-called the ego self, and it's going to keep blocking you. It's going to cause you to keep repeating the same pattern over and over, not having clarity, causing doubt, like the case with Nick. In this card, it just not only talk about Nick. That specific situation is also talk about many things, many situations in this lifetime as well that you can apply this card to. And let me move on to the person card, spirit self, the now. Be who you are as you are. I feel like this card is asking you to do self-discovery. It doesn't matter who you're going to meet in this lifetime. It doesn't matter what kind of situation that you encounter. I feel like your guardians want you to embrace it, including your relationship with Nick. It's okay. It's your coworker, right? You can talk to your coworker. You can interact with your coworker to see what is that response is, to see what that feeling might be. So, but that's okay, Maddy. But that is fine, Maddy. But I feel like, yeah, just be this, a co-worker can form friendship, can be bonded, but doesn't mean you need to go any further to express it because you don't know if this is a one-sided thing, right? It could be just you. Maybe he doesn't feel the same way that you feel about him. But why not just have this bonding first at the workplace? Why not just and see if it can move toward as a friendship? Do you see what I'm getting here? You cannot rush relationship. You have to build on the relationship. But however, if you keep focusing, oh, I'm having a crush feeling, I'm having a romantic feeling, then how do you even build a relationship? Love, romance don't build immediately. I hope you understand. It takes time. Some individual, love at first sight. But I don't feel like this is the case here. It feels like one-sided. So be aware of that. Don't rush into it. You need to release the crush. You need to release this romantic feeling so you wouldn't have to fantasize, to get in the way. I feel like it's a barrier for you to get to know this person. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That intense emotion you're having for the individual, it's hard for you to get to know that individuals. What do you know about him? Do you understand his character? Do you understand his hobby? Do you understand, so yeah, so you're not projecting on your crush feeling on the person. You need to hold back to get to know this person genuinely, okay? It's okay to talk to him. It's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure we all talk to our bosses. Some cliques, they can carry conversations. I mean, I used to have boss. We talks all the time, but it's a female. It's all okay. So it's not a question I'm having, but I'm talking to the boss. I mean, we talk about things outside of work. To find out. Oh, I actually like doing this. Blah 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 blah. This is my type of hobby. Blah 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 blah. So do you understand what I'm trying to say here? That's how you get to know someone. You cannot jump You cannot project your feelings toward the person without getting to know the person. So you need to dive right in to discover yourself, to see, hey, if there is common ground, is there a common interest? That's the only way to get to know someone at a neutral standpoint. So I hope you understand that. But that's what this card is trying to say, to go with this flow, to go with this energy. Is there anything more about this spirit self that she needs to know? And let me move on to the next card, the integrations. You know what you just comment is a negative feelings. Are you aware you are having negative feelings? It's not a positive feelings. Sometimes crush can be negative feelings, not coming from love. But let me move on to this. Yeah, so it's not like it's not genuine. Fear. If you're having crush on someone at the same time having fear, having embarrassment, or crossing a line sometime, if that's the case, that is not a genuine feeling toward the individuals. People confuse with genuine love versus having a moment of crush. Crush usually sometime that you have some underlying issue about your past. There's some sort of thing like a void inside of you that you haven't dealt with, to think that you actually have some sort of feeling toward the individual. But in fact, I feel like it's pulling out a lot of your negative feelings. If you're having negative feelings, that is not really genuine. So I'm talking about you, Maddy. I'm not talking about other people, but in your case, okay? Therefore, it wants you to do some self-discovery, to see what's going on, because your emotion is so complicated, Maddy. Because this reading is just reading about this possible relationship, right? I don't know anything about your past, Maddy. This reading won't tell me. But I feel like you have quite a bit of underlying negative emotion affecting you to think that you're having crush on the individuals. You're not understanding, is this really truly love or is not love at all? But you need to deal with of your negative emotion first. Otherwise, you're mixing them with the word crush. They're not good. There's no good outcome out of that. But let me move on to this inner integration. I think it's really talking about this conversation we're having. Because you're not integrating something about your life. That's what get you confused. Like an off and on feeling, mixing negativity at the same time, mixing with the word love. I feel like your love is tended in a warm way. Am I allowed to channel any further about what happened to Maddy in her past? No, I'm not allowed to. It is outside of this reading. I'm not allowed to do two readings at the same time, okay? Unfortunately, but this is not big enough reading, not enough cards. But this inner integration, it's about not having peace, not having balance, not having soul fulfillment. Something that is not happy about you in your life, causing you to go seeking outside for something to fill that void. Be aware of that. If you're not going to pull that out, I feel like you probably know what that is, but you're not understanding the connection, what drives you to behave, to think, to feel in your day-to-day life. Doesn't matter what situation, what people you're encountering, you are using your past issues to interact in your day-to-day life. You're carrying this wound in you, and you haven't tried to do anything to heal it yet. But have you tried to and think it did? So you move on, but you're not realizing how deep this wound has affected you to affect your behaviors. So be aware of this, okay? It tried to tell you that you need to go dive deeper into doing that again, okay? Okay, I'm not aware you're doing therapy. So something is very deep, okay? That's all I'm aware of. So I don't know what kind of trauma you might be having in the past. But all I'm saying, this wound is not gonna heal. You're gonna have hard time understanding this self-discovery that you so need. I mean, to release those negativities. So that's gonna be another reading, okay? So depression is another negative emotion you're having. Maddy, do you see how much that you're lacking love? All of these negativities are robbing your own love. When you don't love yourself, it's hard for you to know how to love another person. Like this crush, it's hard for you to build this crush to become a more mature relationship. Do you understand what I'm trying to get to? You are not releasing these negative feelings again because you're listening with so much emotion. Can you take a deep breath and release it? Not to judge this reading. This reading are showing you the type of darkness that you're having so you can face them with courage, so you can learn to release it. You can return back to your own self-love. Do you not understand, Maddy, why my reading are so deep? To help you to see the light, to help you to see what you need to work on. This is not about shaming you. I don't know where is that coming from. This is a very strong word to say that, okay? Yeah, this is not loving yourself, Maddy. Do you understand? If you feel like you're being ashamed, then somebody programmed something in your brain when you're so young to make you shameful, like you're wrong, like you're doing something wrong. This reading, it isn't about you doing something wrong. I feel like this reading is already triggering your past trauma. Whoever is doing that to you, can you at least learn to forgive that individuals? Can you have more compassion about that individuals that have shamed you in the past? Shaming doesn't mean that someone is saying something about you in a negative way. I feel like someone is trying to tell you that you have been wrong. You shouldn't be doing this, blah, blah, blah. Whoever is doing that to you, I feel like somebody is doing that to you in your past to cause this type of feeling, this behavior for an extremely long time that you're not aware of that. Unless you're projecting, continue to project this on yourself. I don't know what it is. Unless something happened. Oh, okay, your guardian just telling me, I don't know, you've been assaulted by somebody. And you feel ashamed because of that. You're encouraging this. Okay, that makes sense now, okay? That particular individual, and I'm very sorry, Maddy, you are allowing this individual to get to you so deep to the point of that you are encouraging these negativities, like you did something wrong, but when you didn't, you're allowing this person to manipulate you, to control you in a way. You cannot control what's outside. You cannot change these individuals. You can only change yourself. That is the free will that you have, that you need to exercise to love yourself. Nobody can do that for you. Do you understand, Maddy? I feel like this relationship that you have with Nick, it is to re-trigger this negative feeling that you're having, that you haven't done anything about it yet. You are continuing to encouraging this negative feeling, shame. I feel like this reading is intended for you to understand how you are encouraging this negative feeling within yourself. Your guardian said it's time to release this shame, time to take back your own confidence. It is time to take back your own self-love. Love does not have to be given by anyone. Are you aware of that? You need to have compassion for your own self. And yes, you do know how, Maddy. If you know how to encourage shame within yourself and you do not know how to release it, but why are you keep encouraging the same negative feeling for your own self? And yes, you do know how to release it. And this is the guidance part. Weeping wound, you are not your wounds. The next one, responding, not reacting. The only control we have is how we respond to the hands we are dealt. Okay, I already talked about. Yes, I know that's why I didn't want to use the word Maddy. That's what your spiritual guardian. That's why I use the term assault. I want to be discreet, be more delicate. I don't, because it's public reading. I don't want to use the term rape here. I'm aware of it. That's why I'm sorry that it did happen to you. You're not. Some people come to me because of that reason, and I wish that you did a private reading with me so I don't have to go into so deep with you. Okay, it's never easy, and I hope you can forgive yourself, and I hope you can forgive that individuals. And this is about your wound so deep within you. Okay, it's talking about this wound. Is there something that I need to go to the guidebook? It's asking you to let go of emotional reactions. Yeah, it's a violation. Okay. Sure, the guy can turn around and say, oh, I didn't do anything. It's an easy way out for him to get himself not to be in troubles. It is hard to prove when it comes to that. It's not easy, right? And I hope you can learn to forgive. Do you understand you need to learn to forgive on all parties? Forgive yourself. Forgive the one who did wrong to you. You need to have compassion. It is not about love relationship. It's about you don't understand what is love when your heart is bleeding. Do you understand that, Maddy? When this wound isn't healed, it's hard for you to understand what it's really love. Yeah, even after that, doesn't mean it's working out, right? Because this wound is still hunting you deep inside of you. You're still reacting. Do you see this card? It is saying that you're reacting emotionally because of this one particular incident is so hard on you. You can fall in love, but doesn't mean you can build happy relationship. Because of this wound, you're still having emotional reactions. It's hard to it's hard to build strong relationship with individuals when you're still reacting to these wounds. Every single day, you're dealing with this, not realizing it. until you learn to forgive, until you learn to love yourself without any conditioning, until you learn to crack open your heart to feel yourself with compassion. Is there anything else that I need to tell? Is there a possible romantic relationship with Nick? I'm picking up no because of victimizations. That's the answer for you. This entire reading is because your wound is so deep. It's hard to have this romantic relationship with this particular individual that you're having crush on. That's why your spiritual guardians asking me to pull all this card for you to help you realizing it, what you still need to do to heal. So that way, when you love yourself, then you know how to love the other persons. Okay? Is there any more for Maddy? I'm glad to end this reading for you, and may you find light from your spiritual guardian. Okay, journal reading for Sophie. I'm going to use the Twin Flame Ascension deck here. Sacred sexuality assessing your unified field. Let me go to the guidebook here and see what that is. '97. Can you give me more context here? That's impossible for me to talk about this. Sexualities? You want me to talk about? No? The practice of sex? Okay, what is the context? It is not in the guidebook. I don't know what's the intention of the spiritual guardians. I'm still not able to get any answers. Sophie doesn't want me to use the guidebook, but it's talk about practice of sex. That's it, and there's no context. So can you help me take a deep breath and release whatever that is and see if I can pick up the frequency from the spiritual guardian and see what the intention is? But I'm getting the second card needs to have compassion. You need to open your heart. Perhaps it is about, it isn't about lust. Making love is not about lusting the physical body. That's what I'm getting. I think I need to read two cards at the same time, not do it individually. It's that you're lacking compassion in this regard. Like having physical intimacy. You're doing it out of the moment of gratification because you're sexually charged, so you're not understanding. A lot of people are engaging in lust. When you're engaging, I'm suddenly feeling I want to have sex. So that's what I'm getting here. Not having the right compassions about having sex. Is there anything else about this? Is there anything else I need to elaborate here? Okay, I'm going to stop it here, Sophie, but I hope that means something to you, even though you're telling me you're not. But probably it's talk about the past Whatever reason that you stop doesn't mean that you're not engaging in lust. Lust is a type of energy, okay? So you kind of need to understand your energy about lust versus the energy of pure form of love. And it's tied to this compassion. And I feel like your compassion is out of balance, it's out of sync, causing you not to understand about the proper sexuality. So I hope this help you. If that could be a spiritual sign for you, okay? But I don't think your guardians want me to talk about that. And this is the end of the reading. May you find light from it. We're just waiting for Lawrence, general category, guide to use the wisdom of the house of light. And let me go to the guidebook for you here. The Flitchline. First card number 1. It's about learning new things in this past card positions. You cannot know things until you experience them. But I feel like often that you're not going deep into the insight of what it is that you're supposed to learn from those life experiences. But it's not saying that you don't, but you just haven't dived deeper enough to understand the intention yet. So you're missing out how to enrich your life from the past. Nothing needs to be perfect. It's also mentioning that. But let me move on to this person card here, the High Priestess of Earth, card number 3. This card about is, it's from above, nudging you to take care of your overall well-being. Health is not just about your body, it's also about your mind, heart, and soul too. Are you looking into that, Lawrence, about those overall well-beings as well? Can you discern them? Are there any signs that tell you that, yeah, there's something needs to work on? And now it is the time to really work on that. How deep are you diving into that to discern what they are? Because everything are interrelated about those 4 aspects of your life. So I feel like there's some sort of so-called inner self that you have to focus on. If you're focusing on too much on the outside, the interactions on your day-to-day life, then you're gonna miss out a lot about your inner self. So it's up to you to shift your focus to feel, hey, what's inside of Lawrence right now? Why do you say certain things? How do you feel right now? And so forth. How does your soul energy feels as well? Is it draining you or is it uplifting you? Whatever that you choose. If you're worrying is a type of negative feeling. Can you discern that, Lawrence? Is there self-image issue about you that you have to think about other people or what they think of you? What do they say about you? That is very draining, It is more like a self-inflicted. This is a sign of not having enough self-love, not having enough confidence to express yourself. So you have to dive deeper to see why you're so focused on the outside, but not on your inside. But let me move on to the unknown part of it. It's called Trap, this card. But let me go to the guidebook to see if there's something you need to elaborate here. The feeling of trapping in your own life. This card is about expectation from people. Perhaps this is something that the way how you've been growing up, as a child, you look up to the adults for guidance, perhaps the directions. Perhaps they're giving you their version of own opinions that forms expectation, right? So naturally not realizing that. So yeah, then you practicing this type of behavior, not realizing that. So that could cause you to look at other people. What do they think of you? What kind of expectation you try to meet from their points of view? But what about Lawrence? What does Lawrence want? Who is Lawrence? What is authentic to Lawrence? And I feel like this is a time to go back and see why you do that. But I feel like it has a lot to do with your childhood, the way how parenting has affected you. Perhaps they did it the wrong way. Perhaps you are somewhat sensitive in a way that misinterpret their intention as well. Sometimes, parents might not able to express in a way that is more understanding from the light side perspective. Instead, they might have some sort of using the dark side of the perspective to teach a child, So therefore, you learn the dark side of light, but not understanding the light side of light. Where is love? Where is the pure form of love? Instead, they might be using some form of negative emotion to kind of reinforcing on you. Just be aware of that. If you're feeling negative emotion, worry, it's just another one, but another one is like a fear, not being good enough, that robbing your self-love as well. Yeah, so judgment is a form of negativity. Where is that coming from? It's coming from her own life experiences, perhaps protections. Sometimes the overprotection could be coming through me, from your mother as well, from your dad as well too. Perhaps they're doing it in a different way, okay? And then you're looking up to her like not only you need attention, but perhaps in a way you want to get her love as well. So therefore you're trying to meet her expectations. I hope you see how a child can behave this way just because the word of love, needing love. So yeah, this is like a trap. But if you understand, if you go deeper into your wisdom, then you can freeze yourself. This crow is a sign of wisdom. This feather is also a sign of spiritualism. Understand how your soul energy is working. That is coming from the type of emotion that you're having. The more positive emotion that you practice, the better your energy is going to be. It's not going to feel like so draining. And you can tell if you're practicing negative emotion that drains your energy as well. It is up to you. This trap, it's temporary. It's up to you to decide what you're going to do to release what those that are not serving your greatest good, and elevate yourself with the one that is a more positive one, like the pure form of love. The universal love is very unconditional. So think about how you're conditioning your life with negativities, okay? And this is the last card, reminder card. Don't forget, this is a guidance card here. Let me go to the guidebook to see what that is. Number 28. This is about lessons. Something that you might have learned it, understand it, but didn't do anything to release it. So like you're sucked into the old patterns. But I feel like you understand things. But then you keep repeating it over and over. But don't give up on yourself, Lawrence. Whenever you get to this repeating pattern over and over, keep releasing it over and over to see if that feeling has lessened or not. Like the feeling of worry that you know that, the feeling of fear, but also you have a feeling of hurry. So yeah, that is something that you need to tell yourself, little effort every day goes a long way, right? So, and see how far you can go to release those negative feelings that you're having. So, it's a lot to do with childhood, the way you're growing up. You can reverse that process. You don't have to stuck in those negativity that the household environment had taught you, right? And also it's not just family. I feel like in school as well, the form of negativities, a lot of people are using it. They just don't realize how they become the contributors of teaching people about negative emotions instead of teaching people from the pure form of love. And yeah, learn to forgive them. Try not to resent them because they don't even understand they're practicing negativities, because a lot of people don't understand where's negative emotion are coming from. They think that, oh, we're just born with that. No, people just, a child go through learning. They observe. A child can learn so easily just through observation. You don't even have to teach them, oh, you need to feel sad, you need to be afraid or something like that. You don't have to directly tell them. Just by watching somebody, they can mimic this type of behaviors. So just this is just a reminder. You need to have faith to release those negativities and identify what kind of emotion are actually good for you, especially the kind that have no conditioning. Is there any more that Lawrence need to know? So this is the end of your reading. I hope this helped you and made you find light from your spiritual guardian. Journal reading for Bukola. I'm glad you used the Fairy Wisdom Oracle here. Coffee break I'm getting and wishing you health. Let me see what's going on with the guidebook here. Sit back and appreciate your life. Why do I feel like you're not relaxing? Like whatever moment in your life that you're encountering. We talk about every day here. If you're a coffee drinker or whatever caffeinated drinks, it's causing you anxiety as well. And there's something about your life that you're worrying about. And that's also causing you not to appreciate your life. When you don't appreciate your life, when you're engaging in negative emotions, it's going to add on to your anxiety as well. Be aware of that. Bukola. So you need to learn to relax, learn to release whenever you're encountering those negativities. Worry is a type of negative emotion, okay? So be aware of that. Perhaps you need to limit your caffeine to the lowest point as possible. Don't over drinking it, perhaps. I don't know why addiction might have come to me. Like a codependency on caffeine. But let me move on to card 61, wishing you health. I feel like it's a message coming from your spiritual guardian wishing you a healthier life. It is from above. You need to have a wholeness. How are you integrating your four aspects of your life, your body, mind, heart, and soul? What it is motivate you to do certain things. What motivate you to make certain decisions? What motivate you to say certain things? Why do you feel certain way? So you need to incorporate all of that. What is the motivation? Things, you cannot just look at things on the surface. You need to dive deeper into your own self to answer those things, to understand how they are affecting your health. How well are you aware of the negativity that you're having that are robbing your health? Be mindful of that, okay? Is there anything else about this? Yeah, it is all about being wholeness. When you're not fragmented, then you have a whole self. When you're fragmented, it's because you're so externally focused of life and you forgot about your inside. You exist inside, Yeah, it's just a lot of people don't want to get in touch with their soul. How does your soul feel every day when you wake up in the morning? When you're going home, how does it feel? Are you carrying a lot of burdens each day because of the day-to-day life events? I feel like worry is coming through me again. You're worrying. It's like you keep encouraging this worry every single day to cause this burden. So be mindful of that. The more you practice it, the more it become a type of addiction, and you're not realizing you're creating the same pattern for yourself that you couldn't let that go. It will get more intense and intense, and that's how it end up becoming a type of anxiety. But it's up to you to do something about that, okay? When you're aware of that negative emotion, be mindful to learn to release it, relax, okay? It's, and appreciate every moment of your life. But of course, do not codependent on caffeine, okay, to help you, any form of substance, okay? But just this is the end of your reading. I hope you find this helpful. Journal reading for Madison. I'm going to use the Mary L. Tell for you here. It is the Queen of Swords, but let me go to the guidebook since this is a non-traditional deck. This is talk about subconsciousness. Something about the flow of the subconsciousness being suppressed. They cannot merge through your consciousness. And why is that for Madison's? She doesn't want to have it to merge with her consciousness. She is too busy with your current lifetime. That's why there's a huge eye on this so-called birds. You might call it quotes, but I'm seeing two different quote here. It's like one of them is your subconsciousness, the other ones is your consciousness. But you're so focused on your consciousness, but you're not understanding your subconsciousness is also important. It is a part of you. It's telling a piece of story about you. It doesn't matter is this current lifetime or your previous lifetime as well. So yeah, there's always this underlying energy that is influencing you every day, whether you're realizing it or not. And do you ever question why you say certain thing, why you like certain thing, dislike certain things? Why do you say that? Why do you always attract certain relationships, certain situation, and so forth? This flow of energy at your subconscious level, it's at play in your day-to-day life, and I hope you realize that. I think this is the intention of this card, is for you to open up yourself, so that way you can be more in touch at your subconscious level. To do that, you really have to shift your focus. You need to tell your consciousness to stop focusing on the outside and start focusing on your inside, to sense what is it that you're feeling, the deeper part of you. Is there any more I need to say for Madison here? No, this is the end of your reading. I hope this helped you, and may you find this enlightenment from your spiritual guardian. Journal reading for Erica. I'm going to use Mary L here, tarot. So does this one go first? It's 3 different cards here, but let me see if I can get them all on the screen. Okay, the Magician card. Let me go to the guidebook. It's about being in 2 different worlds, or in between 2 different worlds. The physical side versus the spiritual side. Each one of them have its own unique life force. It's like your life and your soul. Which one is more important? I hope that you think that they're both are important. But the question is, are you finding the right balance between them? Are you doing that? Are you acknowledging that you are tipping on the other side a lot more than the other side? Is there anything else about this first card? So I think it takes quite a bit of understanding about you, about this self-discovery journey, wherever you're encountering in life, wherever that is. I mean, it does not have to be all alone. Sometimes you encounter peoples. Sometimes you encounter something, right? Wherever that is. There's always something about you that you can discover. So instead of focusing on people, you should be more focusing on yourself in a way that is to help you understand who is Erica. Is that the true version of you, or is just the one that you desire? And let me move on the 9 of Wands here. Is there more I need to elaborate here? Okay, 9 of Wands. Hmm. Why do I feel anger in this card here? Anger is a very dangerous power. When you're not when to tame this anger, it's like waiting for it to unleash wherever that trigger point is. You don't want to let this anger to go wild. Sometimes this anger is coming from your subconsciousness, like you're manifesting it for your life. So I feel like the first card is where you're in between world, your life and your soul, and not realizing about how angry it is your soul levels. It's like waiting for that trigger point to unleash in your life. I hope you see how these two worlds are interrelated. So you need to tap into your both world to see what you need to do to release this anger. I hope you're not venting it on anybody, right? If you feel that anger, you need to learn to release it. So don't try to suppress, don't put your subconsciousness on like a in a how do you say it, in a isolated place inside of you. The more you do that, the worse it's gonna get. It's gonna be wow. Wow is meaning you're not gonna able to control it in the future when that really unleash, right? When the anger comes out. It could be very destructive, not only on people but on yourself as well. Is there any more about this anger? I feel like this anger have been suffering for a long, long time. It just doesn't happen like in a short period of time. It doesn't happen in just a one particular situation. I feel like there's multiple situations lead to that anger. So I'm not just talking about one particular individual, but I'm talking about multiple people in this lifetime, in your past lives as well. We saw karma. You're the only one that who can free yourself from this if you went to resolve it. But I feel like you choose not to resolve it. And it has to do with your judgment gets in the way because you keep viewing that situation, those people in a negative way. And that's what get in the way. Your negativity, your point of view. So you need to turn that around. Why do you need to view situation and people in a negative way? Why can you not see the good side in them? Why can you not see the good side in the situations? That this is all up to you, Erica, okay? But let me move on to the last card, Eight of Wands. Seems like there are a lot of tiger in here. The first one's an angry tiger. The second one is like a rebirth, like a new tiger coming out. If it's want to come out. Let's talk about the inner core, your inner world. I don't know why the word rest here, but let me move on to reading this. Your soul lives in eternally. It has this infinite life source or life force. Life force is not just coming from your physical body, but it's also coming from your soul that carrying you, carrying your consciousness. You know, but you also have subconsciousness that you created for yourself. So that trigger this dual reality or dual character as well. Like there's another part of you that you don't know, Erica. Like in a sleeping phase, the other side of you, at that deep subconsciousness that you haven't get in touch. You don't know that side of you because you keep suppressing it. Don't want to get to know that part of you. Even though you say you want to, but I feel like you don't. Because this side of that physical life is more important. This lifetime is more important. You don't want to know the other part of you that is from the other side of the world, from that soul level, right? From that soul world, you don't want to know, but you just want to focus on the life world. And that's what I'm getting here. What is it about the marriage? I think the marriage is it's in the way. I don't know if you're actually married, but whatever that relationship that you're having, the people that you live with right now, it's in the way because you're still judging that relationship like a dating thing for you because your negative point of view about that relationship, unable to expand yourself to pull out that subconsciousness to your consciousness. But are you aware of that? Yeah, you keep turning it off. I feel like there's a moment of trigger for you to connect with your subconsciousness, but you choose to turn it off out of fear. Deep down inside, you don't want to know the truth about you. Deep down inside, there is another piece of Erica that you don't want to know because of the anger. You feel like you're not, but you're angry. Perhaps you want to see yourself as good and not bad. So therefore, there is another form of suppression right there. So I hope you realize it. You need some courage, Erica, to face it. So you need to stop turning it off. Let it come out. Doesn't matter how painful that is. Doesn't matter how painful that past. I'm talking about your past lives. I'm not even talking about this lifetime, Erica. You keep focusing on this lifetime, but are you aware you have many, many life stories in your past? You need to connect to your soul. Otherwise, you will have hard time healing yourself. The more you suppress it, the more you keep turning it off. Embrace those triggers. Anything else for this reading? So it is all up to you, Erica, your free will, right? You're the one who's controlling yourself, whether you want to or not. And this is the end of your reading. I hope you find this enlightening from your spiritual guardians. Journal reading for Eugenia. I'm going to use the Mary L here. Let me go to this guidebook, the Justice card. This is number 8. Wishes. You're wishing for something, but that whatever that wishes are putting weight on your heart. But I feel like you feel something on the surface of that, but not able to connect. This weight that you put on your heart is causing the death. death, death, like dying, like you're killing yourself from the inside out because of whatever you're wishing for, right? Whatever you're hoping for, whatever that desires that you're having. Why create this hungry monster for yourself to suffer? And that's how you have created your own chaos. That's what I'm getting on this guidebook here. So I feel like there's a two sides of the coin that you're dealing with here. Is there any more about this justice card? The truth. You need to face your own self in order to understand the truth of your own creations. That's what I'm getting here. So it's up to you, Eugenia. And let me move on to this second card here. Queen of Swords. Face in the sky. Is it sunny or is it so stormy? So like the two sides of the coin. But I feel like you're not seeing clearly. I feel like you choose to see one side of it, not both sides. And that's why you're missing insight. Do you see that two birds? One's the dark side, one is the light side. But there's this huge eye here, but you only choose one side of it. But you're not willing to see the full pictures of your own creation. I feel like it's tied to this justice card, wherever you're desiring. It's trying to tell you that. So you need to incorporate something in your life. How does it really make you feel, that particular desire that's motivate you to move on with your life, to move forward with your life? I hope that makes sense, right? Whatever that is, that I'm not here to channel those specific situation here. But it's just that you're not seeing clearly. Perhaps the emotion gets in the way that you're unable to see yourself clearly, unable to understand the truth of the matter, right? And I feel like your focus is so one-sided, and that's where the culprit is. Is there any more for Eugenia here? I'm Guide to Anna here. May you find this enlightenment from your spiritual guardian. Journal waiting for Sonya using the Twin Flame Ascension deck here. Do I need guidebook? Divine order and compassions. First thing I know that you know you're on Twin Flame journey. Perhaps you know your Twin Flame. But everything is in divine order. You cannot anticipate. That's what I'm getting. You cannot use information for personal gain just because you prefer something in your life. You need to tap into your higher purpose. Are you doing that, Sonya? Maybe. I feel like your personal desire is a culprit when I'm getting the word maybe. Perhaps you're still lost about your higher purpose. Perhaps you're not thinking about your higher purpose. higher purpose, light purpose are not totally exactly the same thing. Practice. What it is that you need to practice? Practicing the truth. You need to practicing universal love. You need to stop practicing anger. You need to stop practicing fear. You need to stop practicing defensiveness. Anything else for Sonya here? The next card is telling you that you need to open your heart to love. How are you allowing compassion integrating in this love? You cannot love with fear. If you love with fear, that is not love, Sonya. That is just purely fear. You think you love, but at the same time afraid. This is trying to tell you to open your heart totally. What are you afraid of, Sonya? Afraid of losing respect? Respect shouldn't come from anybody. You need to understand that. It's only caused more judgment on either side. Why not turn that fear into a love language instead? To make your life better. To make people around you better as well. Whoever you're interacting with in your social circles. So understand compassions. Are you tipping this compassion on the extreme side of the scale? Are you moving it to the middle to have the balance in it? So you need to understand your negativities only encouraging more of the same thing. There's no need to encourage more of the same thing, right? You want to make yourself better, you got to understand how you're feeling inside. It is time for you to rise above all those limitations that you put on yourself. You need to learn to release all your negativities in order to return to this balanced compassions, to start speaking the language of love, not language of fear. Is there anything else for Sonya here? I'm glad to end it here for you, okay? I hope you find this enlightening from your spiritual guardian. Journal reading for the founder using the Untitled Tarot for you. Ace of Cup. Cup is usually about emotions. I'm seeing this lady in this card feeling good about something. Like something has been pouring out. Your guardian said venting. You just vent something out. Like someone having frustration and then you suddenly take a deep breath. Oh, that frustration has been released. But I'm getting this is only a temporary method. It's not a permanent solution for that frustrations. So this is just one fine example here of what's going on here. Like using a cleansing water to wash away a negative feeling that you know that you don't desire. But however, it does keep coming back. How often? I don't know how often that's coming back. Depend what it's being triggered, right? But you do have emotional trigger, and that's what it is. Life situations, specific individuals, the trigger, specific negative emotion over you. So that's the first card that I'm getting. So I'm seeing White Lotus here. You know, it's talk about inner transformation. It want me to talk about that. You know, you need to purify yourself from within, not using the method on here to wash away the frustrations. You need to dive deeper into your inner world to see, hey, where this frustration is coming from. Is it coming from fear? It is coming from judgment? Is it coming from expectations? Or do you have a preference of certain outcome that causes the frustration, right? So you need to dive deeper into that connection. If you don't want to do that, you're gonna keep doing this same old methods that doesn't help you with this, like the White Lotus, to truly purify yourself, to do proper inner self transformation. That's how you're gonna release to make it a permanent thing, not using this method on the outside to make this a temporary thing. I hope you see where the difference is in here. But let me move on to the Nine of Swords here. Cloudiness, headaches. Why do I feel like sometimes you get headaches? Like all these swords poking at your head. Oh, do you know this particular sword is poking at your ears? Listening to something that you shouldn't be listening to? Or there's something that you need to listen to, but you're not willing to listen to. Do you see it? It is like a two sides of a coin. Like you're only dealing with one side of it, but you don't want to deal with the other side of it. Like a personal preference. You're being triggered by certain emotions. Oh, I need to move away from this negative feeling. It's driving me nuts. But then you're not willing to go within and listen to that inner voice. Hey, what's bothering you? See, it's referencing to this White Lotus again. You're not willing to tap into this purification. You just allow your negative emotion to guide your own behaviors. That's not going to help you in life. The fauna. It's only trap yourself in more negative emotions until you're willing to open up yourself on the inside to face each one of them, to see where the connection is. Like I gave you an example of frustration, right? You're missing the connection on the inside. So let's move on to the Goddess of Swords. This owl is about wisdom. This wisdom is not coming from the book. This wisdom is not coming from the external side of interaction with people. This wisdom is coming from this White Lotus, the inner wisdom that you so need. Not that you don't have it, but you choose not to listen. You like this, whatever that cloudiness, the dark side of you to get in the way. You're not willing to hold yourself accountable of that dark side that you're having. Only you can pull each one of those souls out, like an attachment, right? To your mindset, like an attachment to your feelings. This owl is trying to tell you, you can be like this goddess in this pure white color, so pure, full of love, full of peace. You know, it's not tended by any negativities. You can be this goddess, but you got to tap into that inner wisdom for this first two cards. And I hope you find this enlightening from your spiritual guardians, okay? The fauna, this is the end of the reading. Okay, this is the horse's reading for Lawrence. Does Lawrence has a dream frame guide to use the Oracle of the Fairy and also the Elemental Oracle here for you. The past position, life energy. Do I need a guidebook? No. You see what the cards say here. The happy fairy of sunshine brings lots of light giving energy. She reminds you to shine your light and to reveal anything in the shadow that needs to be healed. So this is about your past lives. You do have past lives. Your soul has traveled from one lifetime to another lifetime. And this is not the only lifetime you have lived it. And whatever you're experiencing, all those lifetimes, it carries some type of energy. This type of energy has sent you at the same time and also elevated as well. But it's all depend on what you're practicing in regard to your emotions. And this is talk about the shadow side of you. The more you reveal the shadow side of you, the better you know what you need to heal. So whatever you're experiencing in life, it's depend how you will them, right? Is there any more about this past card energy here? So at the same time, you also meet quite a bit people, right? Some of them have karmic ties. Some of them are not so compatible. Some of them do have compatibility with you. You can call them the soulmates. The highest compatibility, it's called the twin flame. And there's only one soul out of this universe has the highest frequency match with you. So be aware of that. Anything fall below that, it could be soulmate. Anything fall below soulmate, it might not be so-called maybe personality crash or compatibility is not syncing in that regard, okay? So I think that is already answer your question here. But I don't know if your twin flame still exists as of this lifetime, okay? Current lifetime. But let's move forward, okay? Do you want me to tell her? Okay, the present card is about expansion, the north. This is like a north node. North node is always about knowing who you are, knowing the offended version of you. Like, and you know, what do you call that? Doing your higher purpose in this lifetime as well. And that's what this north expansion is talking about here. And this card is saying is nudging you now and for the remaining lifetime. You need to continue to do that. But I feel like you're doing something, but not enough. That's what I'm sensing here. Perhaps you're not understanding the higher purpose of this lifetime as well. But however, this past card here, it's already giving you one of the highest purpose why you're continuing one lifetime after a lifetime. You know, why you're in this life cycle. It needs to pull out your shadow in order for you to heal. That is the main point here, okay? But like, is there any more about the person card? Why am I having headache here? It's like you're being attacked by energy. Quite heavy. Lawrence, I feel like you're being attacked by energy all over the places. Can you take a deep breath for me and release it? Those negative energy, it is such a heavy headache I'm getting here. This is from the outside, from the inside, both. I'm getting both type of energy from the inside and the outside as well. Whenever you're being attacked by energy, be mindful of how you're observing them. Like, I feel like you're incorporating them within you to trigger more of the same thing, like intensifying. I feel like that's what you've been doing, to encouraging all those low energy to trigger this draining as well. It kind of drain your energy, cause a lot of tremendous headache. I'm not sure how often it is, but your spiritual guardian said sometime, okay? But you need to, you're working with people's, whoever that is that you're interacting with, heavy day life, whether you're interacting with whoever that is, you need to stay neutral, not to like being consumed by their darkness. Because when they're practicing negative emotion, that's what they emitting darkness and then project it on somebody else, okay? But I'm not saying you don't have your own dark side. But when you are like sucking in all of that, it's only make it worse, okay? So be mindful of that. So you need to kind of have some sort of healthy boundary. I'm not saying to do it for self-protection, but do it in a neutral way where you say, hey, I know you're in fear, or I know that you are in anger, but you need to take a deep breath and separate that is their energy and not your energy. Do not try to incorporate that to intensify what you already have. Do you see what I mean? I'm not saying you don't have fear, I'm not saying you don't have anger, but if you just incorporate somebody else to add on to what you already have, that's going to be increased to tenfold. You want to minimize it. You want to work on your own dark side, but not incorporate somebody else to give you extra burden to work with. Do you see what I mean? Okay, but let me move on this hidden card here, the Avenger South. Being stuck, not understanding of your dark side. So yeah, you need to discover what those dark sides that you're having so you can work on that. It's nothing is permanent when it comes to darkness. It's just a matter of you chose it. You sometimes not aware that you chose it. Maybe sometimes you mimic certain behavior from somebody since childhood and causing this patterns of darkness. So you need to realize it. Once you realize it and then say, oh, that's where I learned it, but I can unlearn this. I don't have to have fear. I don't have to judge whatever that situation might be. You see what I mean? So this is something for you. You need to dive deeper into that, the dark side of you. Do you see the adventure card? Do you see that little girl in the wet little umbrella? It is like going within to see, to feel what that is. So that way you can release that. It is not about cleansing. People say, oh, I need to cleanse my negative energy. There is no such thing cleansing negative energy. It is about emotional patterns that you have chosen for yourself, that you can undo this choice. It is up to the free will to do that. When you get angry by some situation, by particular individual, somebody say something so negative or so rude, and you get angry. For example, do you need to continue to practice this anger? If you choose not to, I choose not to be angry. Okay, I understand this person has a bad day, want to say something negative, in some way toward me, but that's okay. I I'm going to love myself. I'm going to open my heart to compassion. And I'm going to open my heart to forgive this person so I don't have to be angry forever toward this particular person. So I hope you see what I mean here. So do you understand my point here? That it is a personal choice. If you want to practice anger, you're gonna continue this such a low energy that robbing your love, the self love, right? If you have compassion for yourself and for other, you're gonna learn to forgive. You're gonna have compassion for yourself and other person as well. You're gonna stop judging people and stop judging yourself as well. Do you see what I mean? It does goes both way based on your personal choice if you choose not to practice any negative emotions. But of course, you need to learn to release that, right? If you're not, it's not just saying, "Oh, I'm not going to practice it." But if you keep having ongoing trigger over and over, then you need to question yourself: Are you actually releasing it, or you just trying to say, "Oh, I'm not practicing it"? It's just a superficial, surface level of saying it, but not really go within your inside to say, "Hey," to tell your soul, "Okay, I really want to forgive this person. I'm gonna take a little baby step each day to forgive this person so that way I don't have to be angry at this person all the time." You see my point that I'm trying to say here? So doing, saying are two different things. Any more about this hidden card here? So this is the guidance about ease, the beginning. I'm seeing this moon here. And I'm seeing this lady touching the moon. It's like I'm gonna dive right in there and touch my own self, to touch my inner world, to touch what that feeling that I have inside of me. Perhaps once upon a time I have experienced in this, but I move on. Or once upon a time I have experiences, but I choose to suppress it. Or once or upon a time that I experience it and I choose to deny it. Do you hear what I'm saying? It is up to you to go deeper, to penetrate this moon. So that way you're no longer protecting it. You're no longer forming some sort of a unhealthy boundary to say, "Oh, I'm okay. There's nothing wrong with me." That's the normal part of life. Do you hear what I'm saying here? It's to deny it. Like everything is normal. It's just norm, okay? So therefore I can just dismiss it. So this card is trying to tell you, don't do it. You need to have this new beginning. This new beginning is about changing your mindset. It's about changing your attitude toward life, how you approach life. It is about having different perspective. If you continue having the same judgment over and over again, how are you going to have different perspective? You don't. You just keep judging the situation, just keep judging the individuals to say, "Oh, based on your past, and I know what you're gonna be like." That's called judgment. Do you see what I mean? Using the past experience to judge. So you want a different beginning, then you need to let that go, okay? So that way you can dive deeper into your own self to sense what that is. Is there any more that Lawrence needs to know? So this is the end of the reading. I hope you found this enlightening from your spiritual guardian.